Welcome back, guys. It looks like the pistol may have got underway. Luckily, they've been playing nice and slow for us, so we haven't missed anything.
Yeah, and actually we're going to be tuning in right as the combat begins out towards the A-bomb site, charging on through. Going to be Starix as Little and Jerry try and put these guys down. Proper charging as one. And oh, what's going on? In the blink of an eye, the round's going to be over, and Spartak, they will be the victors. That was phenomenally fast stuff, and now the tech pause called in. So there we go. We're back to the nice, slow, mundane pace that we're all used to know and love. Tom, serenade us through this with your sweetest chocolate vocal cords.
All I've been doing, I don't know about that. All I've been doing is spending the time just moving the camera, dancing. I was really confused in that round. I just want to point out to anybody who wants to put the little camera thing in the chat that says bad observing. You are correct, because for some reason in that first round, none of the number keys worked. So I couldn't change between any of the players. So, yeah. It works now.
Did you just call the TT Tours thing the little camera thing?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Now I can get behind it.
What is it then?
So the TT, I don't know, TT Tours.
The little camera.
Okay, yeah, no, I won't dispute with you. That is what it is. Tom,
I don't know
I'm just
my
curious.
chat
Based on what you've seen thus far.
What, you mean the 8 seconds of gameplay I caught?
What do you think? What do you think Team Spirit need to do to get back on top of their game?
They need to have money. That's all I got, really. They set up some smokes, which is obviously a good start. But they're the fairly basic ones. They haven't.
You don't have to answer this question. It's impossible.
No. You started it. I will finish it. So they've clearly know the basic smoke setups from the old nuke, which hasn't really changed too much. But yeah, it was a fairly basic strategy. They were patient, which was lucky for us, which meant we actually saw some of the round. But other than that, yeah, not really that much to say. We can see they're going to force into this one. I'm wondering what the tech issue is, because before the problem was that the server died. Now, there's nobody dancing, so I don't think there's any problem there. But, well, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Maybe someone's having some issues. Normally I check for ping, but it's on LAN, so it's not. It looks like whatever it was sorted out.
When they say ready and then they put G, what does that mean? Oh, go, probably.
Yeah, you know, it's a real difficult task to type that second letter on your keyboard. So, it's like the word yes when people, like, they don't do it so much in the UK, but I know that a lot of other countries just put Y. And for me, that was so confusing when I first went to Ukraine, because I would say, can you do this? And they'd put Y, and then I'd try and explain why I want them to do it, and they'd be like, no, that means yes. It's like, oh. Great.
Well, anyway, look, abbreviations in foreign languages out of the way. We are going to be seeing Team Spirit foreigners towards outside as they get shut out of this area by Little on his scout, mopping up two. Jerry going to chime in with one. The bomb's been dropped out in the open. This round has gone horribly for Team Spirit. They've already lost 3 players, have nothing in return, and the bomb is well and truly under the control of Spartak. Team able to get one. Jerry going to just soak up some shots, 24 HP. He's still alive and kicking. And Little, where you looking? Is going to be trying to spot out Coldie with the dig. And does connect the shot. Little needs to calm down with this scout. It's all on Dima. 1v4. He's worked his way in towards hell. But he's still got a lot of work left to do if he wants to get this bomb.
Put him out and, well, got Kabakin above him as well. Going to be helping in this sort of situation. Dima really struggling to get away with anything here. Just trying to bait us and push, but it will be Little to hit the quad kill with the scout. Converting the round for his team. And, yeah, not really anything that can be invested into this next round for the T side. Obviously, it can swing quite heavily in the favor still of this CT side of the map. So we're waiting to see if Spartak can get off to that good start. They've got the first couple of rounds. Can look to build up a bit of extra money. Little on this map, interestingly, not just going for the P250 in that second round, which I like. I'm glad he's picking up something, and the scout seems to be the weapon of choice. Maybe he was just saving it for a rainy day, trying to catch someone off guard, but of course this is the elimination match. Blocks galore, as said, for the T side. Interested to see what they'll try and do. Rushing outside. Sophic has himself a flash, but they're pushing into the scout of Little, and this time It's as powerful as an AWP, but with extra maneuverability.
Yeah, I don't fall to Sophic with his Glock out. He will fall as Facecrack is quick to shut him down. Spartak go ahead and pick up those first 3 rounds to kickstart their first half. Now, if they win this one out, you know, picking up the pistol on the CT side, if you're on the CT side, is fantastic because it denies 3 rounds to an otherwise disadvantaged side, and the pistols are a bit of a wild card anyway. Heading into this, if they now win this round out, then they put Team Spirit back onto a force, or back onto an eco rather. So it would leave them in a very, very nice spot to try and take this 5-0 and just, you know, get the ball rolling in a big way early on. It would be a nice bonus, but at this point, Spirit looking to try and slow down Spartak from picking up too much momentum early on. I'm going to be buying AKs across the board and making their way outside. They've got 4 players here just stacked on up, the utility usage raining on through to allow them safe passage. No holes in these smokes. And they do manage to get in through secret. Sophic going to be waiting for any aggression out through A. He could try vent dive, or they could split out into the A-bomb site. I think alternatively, his whole purpose is just to listen to see if anyone does go aggressive. And while Demon, the first man to fall over towards B, no trade to come out just yet as Little. He's still just ruining these guys on the push on in. They still haven't been able to deal with him, and he's going to do even more damage. Actually, Joe will get out his Propler to find the next. Into the 2-1-4 we go. Sophic's making his way towards outside, trying to seize control of Heaven and come in from behind.
Davkos with the patient play, but I don't think he spots the player crossing. I'm not too sure if he did, but either way, it's not really going to help him. They're not going to move, but there we go. Gets caught in the open. Sophic actually finds another one in the meantime. And this round quickly turns, but it's Little again. Already hitting his 10th kill. Not even at the end of round 3 yet. Facecrack will combine. They get themselves that 4th round off to that perfect start. CT side able to just purchase up all the rifles that they lost, and the Ts, they're going to be struggling. Maybe able to get a couple of extra pistols. I quite like to see Davkos keep some of the money he has just to make sure he can get that AWP, because one of the big problems they've had at the moment is countering, but by the looks of things, an AWP may not even be on the cards for them at the moment. I think he should still have enough for a glass cannon AWP, but I'm quite surprised, really. Really heavily investing into this.
Yeah, they're trying to catch the economy of Spartak while it's low and keep that damage up and potentially even steal a round out. We know that Team Spirit can work these pistols to devastating effectiveness. So as they stack up outside of A, they're going to break all the skylights. They can get the nades in if they'd like. It's also good just because it prevents them from going any risky gambles early on and rotating players off. Also, nice addition there from Sophic to bring the Glock up to the roof with him to shoot the glass out with, so he didn't waste any of the P250 bullets. Now throwing the smokes and flashes in through the skylights to cover them on this approach. It will block off Heaven, 1 for Mini as well. There's only 2 players in the site to try and hold back the tide of Team Spirit players about to come their way. In come the smokes and flashes team. We're in with the first, and then there's still frags going out, but no, Coldly going to shut out Facecrack within the site. Little's been locked out from that smoke, and this round going away at Team Spirit for the time being. Propler falls on the flank. It's all on Jerry and Little. 2v4, and rifles now gathered for Team Spirit with bomb planted.
Very able to get one back. AWP sitting just outside. If I can find a pick, then this will really open up the round. Jerry goes wildly spraying, and well, now Little, I think he may have to make the decision just to fall out of the round. You look at the amount of money he has, it would be enough for an AWP, but the rest of his team struggling. Actually, they're going to go pushing. Sophic, not with anything really to lose. Be a little bit careful. He doesn't get too close to that ball. We'll look to just push back, and actually going to be caught in the open. That's a bit of a mistake towards the end of that round. I'm not really sure why he went pushing in towards that ladder anyway. And this is going to make their buy going into this round very, very sketchy. Little can probably drop a rifle and still buy an AWP. Instead, going to invest further into a kit and nades, and they're just going to really skimp in other avenues. A few UMPs, a FAMAS, 1 M4 onto Facecrack. And then on the other side of things, as you said, they're going to be trying to win that round, and they did. They get a huge boost because of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was high risk, high reward, and ultimately it does pan out for them. The buy, similarly from Spartak, leaves them in a similar situation. Both these teams on the cusp of being reset, so this round here is massive. Whoever picks it up does secure themselves effectively 2 for 1, and look at this aggression from Little, pushing up over towards ramp, already claiming that first frag, and they have no opportunity to refrag. Facecrack, meanwhile, rotating in through vents, can be playing close, then emerges from the hole, but no demon has shut him down. And well, in the meantime, Kabak are going to come face to face with Dima, who finishes him off as well. They retake the man advantage here for Team Spirit. Going to be charging out over towards A. They get the bomb down. And now it's Jerry, Proplet, and a Little in the retake. 3v4 as the bomb goes down on A once again.
Do have a kit onto Little, but he's not really anywhere near the action. It looks like he may already be in a spot to save. This could make things interesting. Getting one out, but no, they're just going to fall back. Save the weapons that they have. UMP, AWP, and an AK. Keep the economy relatively low on the T side as well, though 3 players staying alive will still be an improvement. If they can all get away, which, interestingly, they're going very close to Little. I don't think they know he's here. They do now. Try and get this all out of his hands. I imagine right near the depths of the round, and with a whiff shot, that completely changes the next. If you think about it, Little actually had enough to drop a rifle for his teammate. It could have been a buy. Instead, I feel like they have to eco here and allow the T's another one, and this I am not a fan. Probably means it'll work.
Yeah, I mean, the first force buy was a curious one enough. This time, I mean, you know, I guess you could make sense of it by saying 2 of the players did manage to save in that previous round. And, I mean, ultimately, the buy they have isn't terrible, but they're getting progressively weaker and being left further and further behind. This is now another round where if they lose it, they're going to be put on the back foot economically. Spirit not going to be going slow or showing remorse as they charge through outside. 4 players here early on. Team going to be tagged down just a little bit. Not looking too healthy. Sophics already out through Hut, finds the first, but Little does trade things back, and that's now an AK for one of these UMP players to go ahead and pick on up out towards A. The rest of Team Spirit, they've made their way down through Secret, sneaking in over here towards B. And well, Little, look at him go, just chipping away. Trying to just belittle the players on Team Spirit. And now Davkost and Starix trying to deal with Little, but he's been the reoccurring problem for these guys. They just can't deal with him. Jerry now on the flank coming with the UMP. It's all on Starix. Pinted on in. Little gets the 4K. And that is going to be Spartak to go ahead and take one straight back. 5-2. Tom, as you said, you don't like the force, and that means it'll work.
Yeah, Little has the same amount of kills as the whole of the other team.
I mean...
And that's because he has 16 kills. He's got more than 2 kills around at this point in time, and that is just absolutely ridiculous. He's dragging his team, kicking and screaming through this one, and... ludicrous performance from him so far. I just don't think any player could keep that up. So you need someone else to step up with him. If he does, he may be breaking a record for most kills in a half.
I mean, yeah, we are only 8 rounds in, and currently he's top of the board with 16 frags to his name. He's looking to try and go for the record, as you said, Tom. And while Team Spirit lighting up these smokes and flashes ready to go in, Sophic's hand was actually on fire there. I don't know if you saw that. That was really weird. But he's going to be throwing in the Molotov to open things up. Little going to open things up for the side of Spartak. It's him and Face Crack between them. Find a couple of frags. And then Jerry chiming in one more. And in the blink of an eye, it's all on Sophic alone in the 1v5. Bomb down in the middle of A. And he's looking to try and do something. Some sort of damage to be found, potentially. There's an AK dropped outside as well, which I think he's going to look to try and pick up and save. But it will be Spartak, you imagine, to secure this round.
So many angles to check. I'm going to check the first one. Jerry got himself the double. Little not really needed too much in this one. We'll stick to his 17-2 scoreline. It was quite surprising because earlier he was the man that I was looking to step up. Didn't really see it on Cobblestone. And clearly he wanted to just prove me wrong with my prediction already. It's very early days, but just going absolutely ham. Opponents are going to have to save Team Spirit with little money in their bank. Even yet to really see the AWP on Davkost, which is pretty much the thing that we know him for the most. Aggressive push out onto the side, looking to try and catch out Kabakin, but it's not going to happen. He'll get revenge on his former teammates, at least for now. And again, just flawless cleanup so far. Davkost the only one with any potential to do some damage, and it's the exact same position of the previous round. Jerry will replay, get himself that kill, and yeah, even this buy it's not particularly good. It's got some extra utility thanks to Dima. Other than that, it's not really anything overly impressive.
And Little going to be making his way towards outside. 3 players heading over towards here for Team Spirit early on, with the rest actually taking position up on top of the huts to try and lay down the pain and cover these players that are moving through the outside area. Smokes should be raining in. They've got enough to secure it. The issue is that they're going to waste, well, not waste, but they're going to have to use 3 or 4 smokes really to get past outside, especially with the angle the Little is currently holding, and with how they've been doing it prior. They normally smoke off in a bit of an unusual way. They just create kind of an avenue as opposed to smoking off by mini. This time, smoking to get down for guys. They opt to try and use it a little bit less. They go ahead and smoke off the key areas. Little should kind of fall on back. So they do get control of outside for the time being, only losing 2 smokes in the process, but already face crack and Proper. They've already gone aggressive. They've cleared out so much, and they're fully aware of what Team Spirit are doing. Sophic does dispatch of Kabakin at least. It's weird seeing these 2 players kill each other after associating them with being on the same team for so long. Well, in the meantime, Little, he's flanking on up through Secret to try and catch one of these players outside off guard. It's Davcost is going to be there. But now Little going to double back down through Secret, play things safe over in towards B. Bomb up in heaven, looking to try and wrap round out in towards A. And considering they had so much of an idea of what Team Spirit were doing, this round couldn't have gone worse. Jerry has to try and make a difference. He does get one fighting for his life. Demon going to be there to trade things back instantly, and then the AK drops down as well. A little bit more luck to go the way of Team Spirit. As now they get this bomb down. Face crack, trying to deny things best he can. Only gets one, leaving this all on Little. The man of big ambitions, and while he's going to come on in, gets the first. Still got 2 more left to find. Drop it on down. It's the fake defuse. It's not at an angle for either of these guys to check, and they think he's holding it already. Demon's committed a hell of a lot to the site. They're both fully flashed. Somehow they're still alive and fighting, though, and luckily enough, Demon does connect the frag with the Glock. It will be Team Spirit to pick up a 3rd round.
Yeah, a little bit worrying, though, that, again, it seems to be Dima having to pull off a ridiculous round for them to actually get one on the board. He gets 4 kills, as we saw previously when they were up against QB, and it was only really him there at all. Now, hopefully this time this will be the start for something better. They've already got 3 rounds on the T side, and once you get to the sort of avenue of 5 or 6, you're not really too worried going onto that CT side. It's definitely still possible to rack up 10 or more rounds, as long as you get the economy building quickly. Little back on the AWP. It's out outside. The wall of smokes will go down yet again, creating the tunnel for them to sneak through. Now, last time there was a bit of a gap, and this time Jerry's even going to be able to spray through and find Dima before he can get down. Coldy, however, will cross. They'll try and take a bit of an aggressive angle, but Jerry seems to have woken up himself. Finds a 2nd kill already. Well, the bomb is going to be dropped down, but it's a 3-on-5 at the moment. And they're still yet to even come across this AWP.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say, Face Crack's the one to keep an eye on, pushing in through Secret. Finds the first, looking to get more done, but Starix does manage to trade that frag out, so it's going to be a 2-on-4. Sophic watching for any aggression to come around from behind. Not going to be given to him. The bomb is just dropped well and truly within their grasp, but it's Starix putting in work. Gets himself a 2nd frag now, out onto Little. Slowly but surely chipping away at Spartak. Jerry, one of the top fraggers for Spartak, still alive and kicking, though. Going to be posted on up towards outside. Does spot out Sophic. Going to be trying to go toe-to-toe with the lone Team Spirit player towards outside. They also have to worry because Starix being in the backline could cause some issues, but not for Jerry, who sees all. Goes ahead and gets himself a 3rd. The hat trick. And now Sophic rerouting and trying to come through mid. I'm going to hear him. That nade finds a boatload of damage and come back and just locking down the angle will drop him from the equation. Sophic probably asking how come Kabakin couldn't be that damn good when he was back in Team Spirit. And well, it will be Spartak now to find themselves an 8th round.
And this is starting to look a little bit worrying, because you have to remember this is Spirit's map pick as well. They really haven't looked too impressive whatsoever so far. They've had a round that they managed to pick up with pistols. We're yet to see the AWP onto Davkos, which on the T side of Nuke isn't always a necessity, but when you have an AWPer that's picking you a lot of the time, it can just be a wonderful counter. Jerry, again, playing this outside role. He's now 14-4, denying any chance of teammate getting that record, but still putting in a great performance himself, and I don't think they're really going to care. Of course, this leads to qualifying for a major qualifier, which is the main goal here. Sophic Dima, the only two left alive. Dima's managed to get himself a rifle. But the bomb is down in the hands of Jerry. I'm not feeling confident for the T's in this situation.
I mean, Dima has managed to get himself an M4, which he could try and use, but him being quite far away from Sophic, no trade potential there. And as he pushes on through, FaceCrack going to be the one watching this angle. Actually, Dima bypasses that completely, sneaks on by Sophic meanwhile. Still over here towards Hell. Little's just dedicated to holding the angle. Pop flash gonna... No smoke gonna come on through. Down goes Dima. It all falls on a Sophic. And in the 1v4, bomb down over by Jerry. It's not looking good. He does find Little, but then the nade, the martyrdom comes on in. And it will be a ninth now for Spartak. Let's not forget, you know, Nuke is infamously CT-sided. But I mean, still, for the map picker Spirit, I was definitely expecting a little bit more. If they could try and pull this back, maybe to a 10-5, you know, ideally you'd be looking at 9-6, but I don't see that being likely. Then they're still very much in this heading into the second half, but they do need more than this.
Yeah, it has to be said as well that a lot of the skill of this map can be the ability to grind out rounds over on that T side, so if they're unable to do that, you have to wonder why this is in their map pick at all. But you never know. Still 3 more rounds to go. They've invested into these Tech 9s. 2,400 loss bonus will help them a bit in the next round, but it's clear to me that the AWP is not even part of their game plan at all, because dab cost is now on $950, even with a bomb plant, they can't afford one. These, again, look to be setting up for this A-site hit. Hasn't worked out too well so far, although one of the pistol rounds they managed to win was in that position. Gonna go pushing into the side once again, back and well placed. The Molotov doesn't force him out. He'll just sit in it and burn. But he gets himself the kills. Now able with one, but spinning around, unable to find too much more on Kabakin. And Ko will clean things up. 10-3. Spartak firmly in the lead.
See, I once heard another caster called Kabakin, and I like the way it sounds, even though that isn't how you say it. It sounds cool, it sounds mysterious. But yeah, the buy are going to be coming in from that Team Spirit.
I think you need someone like Enrique Iglesias or someone like that to say his name. I feel like that would sound just somewhat beautiful. Maybe just someone Spanish. Maybe not just specifically Enrique Iglesias. He may have just been the first Spanish person that came.
A bit beyond our budget. But yeah, I mean, FaceCrack to open this round up. Down goes Dima already. Biting the dust here for Spirit. No trade in sight. Dima, of course, being, you know, the driving force behind any of the rounds Spirit have been successful in. Losing him early on is going to be a pain harshly felt by the rest of the team. Trying to desperately claw onto something outside, and Propler down in secret. If he goes peeking on out, he could go down here, and that could be the equalizer found and just handed onto them on a silver platter. So he will make the decision to fall on back. Jerry still holding outside. Stalwart in the face of adversity is going to let the players slip on by. He pushes out through the smoke. It's going to fall prey to Coldy, who's watching the angle, but Propler is there to instantly trade things back and take a little bit more. Goes ahead and drops out Coldy as well, leaving us now on Starix and Sotvic. 2v4.
And they've pretty much been in these sort of situations all the way through. Little has already turned around, hits the tag onto Starix. Just falls back before he can be hunted down. In fact, he baits into Kabakin and just sets up his teammate for the kill, knowing Starix was going to chase Sotvic now, the only one left alive. And I'm wondering if this is some sort of level of tilt. Sotvic trying his best. Going to look to do some extra damage. There's only 25 seconds left on the clock, so his opponents don't really need to go for any sort of real aggression here, although Little is tempting fate by peeking out with his P250. Sotvic is going to look to sneak past. He needs to get onto that A site and face crack. He may be low, but he can just sit in the corner. There's no chance in this situation of Sotvic. His best opportunity is just to try and hold on to this AK, and they really don't want to let him. It will be the first for him. Can he at least hold on? That's the big thing. No, he can't. Little will take him down after the round as well, so 650 in the bank. And I just want to ask you a question here. So you see what Dima did at the beginning of the round. Can you justify that run into the site other than tilt? Because I have no idea what he was doing.
Maybe trying to sell it as a rush, but other than that, no. I can't, you can't really think of any other reason why you would. I think it could have been potentially that, trying to catch the players off guard as they get in a position. You have players outside, but no, I'm not entirely sure. Only time will tell if they are tilted. As now, this time, Demon not running into the face of adversity, instead opting to hold his ground for the time being. It is going to be the last round of the half. The force spike coming in from Team Spirit sees them with a bounty of utility, but very little in the way of firepower. Just going to be the text, and although that flash doesn't really pan out, they try and make their way in through vents. They do get 2 players down, but the bomb gets dropped above ground. Coldy nipping up the ladder, trying to pick things up, but no, it's going to get shut down by Poplar and Face Crack, who find the frags between them. Coldy does manage to get a hold of the bomb, and now slips down in towards B, but he's 1v5. Tech 9 in hand, a couple of flashes, has a Zeus as well. Gonna be taking it up close over towards Secret, trying to catch these guys off guard, but you don't catch Jerry off guard. Down goes Coldy. And that is going to be Spartak 12-3. The pistol round could decide their fate single-handedly.
Trying to avoid a flash. Just decided to look at the wall for a second.
I can never get around saying Jerry's name. It always feels like that's a mistake or like a nickname.
It makes me smile, like someone just having like such a I don't want to say normal name, just like it could be his actual name.
I feel like Davkos should be Dave Cost, and then you could just call him Dave, and it's like Jerry versus Dave, mate. Just been down to the polling centre.
Don't please. I've had enough.
No.
And I don't want any more politics.
Enough about politics.
Please.
That's fair enough.
Oh, so boring. I know you love it, but I really don't. What I do enjoy though is pistol rounds and Counter-Strike.
Hey, there we go.
They need it. They really, really need it. They want to get off to a good start on their CT side anyway, but this is looking more like an old nuke. They need to string so many rounds together, and Sotfik is there to start. Coldy in a decent position, trying to catch out little legs as he runs past. We're actually going to be able to duck down towards this B site. There's already a player in vent. That will be Coldy. Dima on the rotation as well. Davkos quick to realize the situation, so it seems like the read here is absolutely perfect from the Spirit side, although Kabakan is still waiting up towards A as a sort of flanking player, and Little has double backed around to the same sort of position.
Yeah, ready to split in towards the A bomb site. At least that's how it looks. I mean, they do have players down over towards B. There's 2 different ways they can really go about doing this. I mean, they're split evenly between the 2 sites. They could try jumping in through vents, selling this fake. I mean, vents are blowing open, and there's actually no one out on the A bomb site at present, with the exception of Starix up towards Heaven to actually keep an eye on things. Everyone instead for Team Spirit stacked down over towards B. And while Starix going to be able to open things up, does drop Little out the equation. And as a result, that's going to cause the rotate to come in over towards the B bomb site. And little do they know it, but that's the biggest mistake they could have possibly made. It's all on Propler 1v5, trying to fend these guys off. He does pick up the first after a bit of a lengthy gunfight there. In towards the site he goes, and well, Dave will take him down.
Dave.
It just doesn't feel right.
Is his name actually Jerry? I can almost guarantee it's not. Maybe he just had a friend called Tom. Maybe it was me. Does it say his real name on HLTV? Andre. Okay. Close. Tech 9 Pistol Force in for Spartak. 3 Famuses on the other side, so definitely playing the range game. Scout as well onto Davkos. Nade. Not going to do as much damage as possibly expected, but it will be Starix to find the first. They do go to push towards this B side. This time moving quite a bit faster than what we saw previously. There's a temptation to sneak up that ladder at the moment. Problem is the bomb will be going down. It's going to have to be a retake scenario. Kabakan will catch one as they attempt to rotate, and he's looking to try and do a little bit more, not allowing them to come down the ladder. There will be prop play going down the flank.
Yeah, now just playing it very, very passive. There's no smokes actually to go for this defuse, so once that one dissipates on the site, which now it has done, they have to rely on their aim in order to fend off their defending players on Spartak. They're going to go ahead and try spraying in through the door. They open it up, but well, Sotfik lines them up, knocks them down. And that will be another round for Team Spirit. But the bomb plant found, going to be a welcome economic bonus for Spartak, who now can afford to force a little bit up into this round or just keep the extra cash for a bounty of utility into the next. And Little bought the dual Berettas.
Hello. Or if that was intentional. 'Cause I don't know, dual Beretta no armor. Interesting. Especially if he wants to get an AWP. Now, we've already seen that the other side didn't want it at all. Davkos going to be up to a FAMAS and his teammates picking up a couple of extra rifles as well. He's basically just hoping that somebody pushes into their crosshair, and although Davkos will, he's winning all of these duels. Dima will fall. Nade going to go out from Sophic, but not able to do any real damage. But again, nothing really achieved, and now it's all onto face crack. A player or two dropped here would be lovely for the next round for his team. They can limit the amount of utility or the weaponry that their opponents have. A lot to ask, and Davkos seems like he's waking up a little bit here. 10 kills for him. Last couple of rounds he's done very well. And there comes the trusty AWP. And Little actually gets one as well.
Yeah, now I am curious to see who's going to win in these duels. The AWP on a Little or the AWP of Davkos. Davkos got an extremely talented AWP on the side of Spirit. And as a result of keeping so many players alive in the last couple of rounds, I think it was 8 out of a possible 10. They aren't going to be in danger of being reset just yet over on the CT side, as we often see teams are. So, Spartak, they're the ones really with everything to lose heading into this round. They are going to be just taking things slowly, not going to be rushing out anywhere too keenly. They have got face crack watching for any aggression outside. Slowly but surely pushing on up, clearing out the angles and actually making his way down over towards red. So all the smoke's allowing him to do so and get out across. Little going to be watching from the top of that marshmallow, and well, shots out through Squeaky. I'm going to rain on in. Coldy now aware that there is someone on the other side of that door. Going to be smoking things off, leaving it enough so that if they push on through that smoke, they can't see anything, but he can still see them. It's a very nice smoke for Squeaky. So Spartak just doing a good job, though, of running this utility down. Haven't given anything away. Haven't gained anything, though.
Little still looking for this peek outside. Davkos playing much more passive angle than his AWPing counterpart did in the previous half. Going to be waiting if anybody's going to go peeking around the corner. Little doing the same. With only 30 seconds left, the T's, they haven't found anything as of yet. Yes, all the utility has been expended for this CT side, but the problem is they've only got 20 seconds to actually make their push onto the site, and there's so many angles left to clear. Starix is just going to be playing passively, and it's just a combination. Davkos getting himself a double, back and looking to push back in onto the site. Will be able to take down one, but there's just so little time to play with, and I think Spartak were possibly expecting somebody to peek into their crosshairs at some point during that round. Instead, the patience of Spirit pays off.
Yeah, I mean, this is where things get really quite scary. Because Spartak, you know, they had such a good first half. It was 12-3. Now Team Spirit looking to be the ones in the driving seat, building up a nice bit of bank in these rounds. And only 5 rounds between them and Spartak anyway. The force buy in this round coming on in. They will still be able to buy up fully on the side of Spartak in the next. They have to try and make some magic happen with these techs. Rushing towards outside, you got Davkos and Coldy here to try and hold back the tide of Spartak, and not finding anything. The nade does do some damage. Kabak going to be tagged down low, and then Starix does finish him off. And they've already got Sophic down here in B to hold these guys back. The Molotov going to buy crucial time as well for the players to reposition up on that A-bomb site to allow for faster rotates in towards B. Sophic just going to be holding the angle, playing it from control. Going to be trying to line these players up as they make their way towards him. They will be allowed to cross, though, onto the site if they so desire. He will be playing a bit more of a passive location. That's to watch out if that door does open. They spot him out. Here's the door. Now turns his attention and finds the first. Fighting for his life. Having to hold up a couple of different angles at once. Here's the player running up on him, but will go down to Jerry. The trade comes in instantly, though, from Dima, and that is Team Spirit to pick themselves up an 8.
Yeah, starting to get themselves back into this game now. Doing exactly what was done to them on the other side and building up a decent amount of cash. T-side seem much more willing to bring that AWP into play. I'm interested to see if they can win an opening duel. That's the big thing, like getting that first pick, splitting the defense. Obviously rotations on this map very quick, but a lot of choke points that are easy to hold. for example, the ladder room, the vents. Aggressive push, and there goes Davkost already. Important pick. Now the T's can look to whittle apart the rest of them. They've utilized that squeaky door. Destroyed it. Now, you can see Coldy just waiting patiently, hoping that somebody pushes back into his crosshairs. This is sort of where the CT side get into a position where they're looking to try and trade. You can see players start to push a little bit further forward. Dima is actually going to fade away from that ramp area for now. Just fall back to a more passive area. Look to try hold off. Majority of players have actually surpassed most of these CTs. Team has been spotted.
And as they figure out where Dima is, you can see they're going to be fast to act on it. Now making their way in through ramp, trying to push on in and take advantage of knowing where this player is, and Little will be able to find him in through the... Oh, they're able to get one back in return. The bomb has gone down. There will be a 3-on-3 in the afterpart. The rotate's coming in from A. It'll take a little while to arrive, but they will be getting here. Little first clearing out ramp, making sure that's all good, and all the rotates coming in through vents. Going to be perfect here for Little, posted up with the AWP to try and deny these defuses as well. Pop flash going to come on out. Starix, the one to clear the angle and try to make his way into the site. Sophic and Coldy, meanwhile, laying down the pain. Jerry finds the first. No trades coming on through as Coldy goes down, and now it's all on Sophic. 1v3. Bomb out in the open. He does get one, but then Jerry is there.
Yeah, a good round from them. That first pick really made the difference. It completely opened up outside. You saw 2 players actually go down ramp, but in the meantime, there were 3 wrapping outside and going all the way around into secret, and it just meant they had a perfect pincer onto that B side with only 1 player defending ramp, and all that came off of just that first kill from Davkost, because he's normally the one trying to hold that sort of outside position with the AWP, so definitely need to sort of work on how their rotations are going to happen when they lose a player. So that is a lot easier said than done. However, T-side may not be able to rely on a pick every single round. We'll see how they actually opt. Try and find this early aggression. This time, Davkost actually switching up his position outside as well. Does know that there's a player around the sort of rafters area. Not going to be able to find anything as of yet.
Yeah, they'll be throwing down the wall of smokes once again towards outside. This time, though, not looking too keen to follow these up. There is Kabakin out there. He's going to hop down from rafters, look to push in through mini. Coldy going to be playing up close in the cover by then. And while Kabakin, he doesn't care for that. Entries into the site, takes them both down. These guys are once his teammates, and he slaughters them like he never even knew them. It is going to be the bomb to go in. Dima does dispatch of Little at least, but in the meantime, probably there to trade things back, returning the man advantage in a big way in favor of Spartak. Just Davkost and Sophic left alive. And with Davkost on the AWP, Sophic with the M4, and so little money left for Spirit, it looks like they are just going to opt to save. If they do, a buy into the next round is still possible.
The amount of money Davkost should be able to drop one Dima by himself. It's still going to be a little bit stretched. To be honest, I don't think the T's really need to go for much more of a hunt in this situation. They don't have a huge amount of money themselves. They've only managed to win a couple of rounds in a row, so they don't want to be risking too much in terms of their own economy to try and damage their opponents, although it does help a lot. They're 14-8 up now. I'm really impressed actually by the way that we're seeing Spartak play. Even with Kabakin sort of lower down on the table, we see in that round just entry fragging for days, the aggression out, winning them their second round on this T side. And Team Spirit, well, they've got their back against the wall. If they lose this round, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, their economy will be bottomed out, as you said. It's incredibly important they pick this one up. Spirit, they are a good team that can play extremely well under pressure. Sophic, change of pace this time, rushing out through secret, trying to catch these players off guard. Kabak going to be watching outside. It is primed and ready for this exact play. Posted up to try and shut down Sophic. Face Crack now going to be joining him. They have to watch out because he is pushed up over towards red, and it is going to go unnoticed. Peeking on out, does do the damage, takes them both down, and this is a huge play from Sophic that single-handedly turned this whole round around. And now falling on back down ramp, Team, which is going to play things passively, looking to try and maintain this man advantage. There's no trades possible. It will be a 3-on-5 as they try to execute in towards this B-bomb site.
He might able to add another little wall trade one back, but he's now all that remains. He is not in a good position to even escape with his AWP, the T-side money. Though they had 3 players surviving in the last, it still wasn't really enough to secure them a buy into the next. Especially with only $1,400 being added onto what they currently have, it really won't be a good buy. This was their big chance to sort of reset team spirit, not give them much hope. However, he saves the AWP. Maybe that makes things a little bit more interesting. 10 seconds left, but Starix is very well placed. Although it doesn't matter, Little has the read. Yeah, he may have slowed down from what we saw earlier as a 16-2 scoreline. Still very aware in terms of positioning, and he will be able to hold on to that AWP, and I think that's going to improve there by tenfold going into this next round.
And I think if you're Spartak, you have to consider, do you go for the force now? And I imagine we're just going to see them, I imagine we're just going to see them force buy down at 2,500 on the players that can afford to. And try and play on the back of the Catalyst AWP on Little. Face Crack has a little bit extra cash as well, so if they get a bomb plant, I think they can still go ahead and buy up an AWP into the coming rounds. But they have to make this work. 3 players towards outside. One of those is going to be Little with the AWP in hand, watching out for the rest of his team as they try to maneuver and push up aggressively outside. Don't really have much utility to go for an outside player, though. They would fall prey to the likes of Davcost with his AWP, and at that point it just becomes a bit of a shooting gallery for him outside, relying heavily on Little to get the trade frag back. Teamer over at ramp, just extending forward ever so slightly, trying to grab control of the map, and they're going to be edging on out. Little versus Davcost in the duel, and Little misses the shot. Now Davcost's attention just be focused fully on trying to deal with this threat towards outside. They're going to try and relocate. Little going to go ahead and try to take this repeak, and Davcost has maneuvered himself around so that the same angle isn't viable. Instead, now he's just got one angle to watch on the corner. They run boost on round, and that's going to work out perfectly. Distracts Davcost. Now he finds himself pinned, and Little just has to watch this angle. He's going to go ahead and unscope. Davcost over the top does spot Little out. Sophic's going to be up in heaven as well. They have the trade potential. Smoke's going to come out, and that's going to allow Davcost to cross on back. 30 seconds left. Spartak, they've wasted a lot of time getting outside, but they do at least have patrol ability. Trying to push on in. Little spots out. Sophic over in towards heaven, finds the first, but now he's just going to be fed to the wolves. 1v4. Coldy on the site, locks it down. And that's Spirit to reach 10.
Yeah, the problem being now, they won't have an AWP going into this round. It does mean they have rifles for the rest of the players. And it gave them a bit more of a chance of winning at either of the rounds. However, the CT side now with a chance to reset them once again. Then if they can pull in another streak of sort of 4 or 5 rounds, the game will even up. Neymar again taking control over towards ramp. I quite like this deep smoke. Just enables him to slow down any further pushes. Back and outside has caught Davcost. That's a very good beginning to this round. As said, the entry fragger looked very good in this matchup so far, and he's going to try and continue it, but Starix is just doing better. Gets himself a double. Jerry does the same as this round goes backwards and forwards. And now Little and Jerry on their last legs have to face off against Sotfik.
Yeah, clash of the Titans here. The 2 top fraggers of Spartak tagged out incredibly low versus Sotfik. One of the players who has been pulling Spirit in through this bomb is going to be taken on down. He's coming in. That one shot going to give away his position. He spots out one of the players on the side. Takes out Little. Now it's all on Jerry. 1v1. And Sotfik's going to do it. Gets them both. Defuse to come on in. And that could have been Spartak reaching match point. But instead, it's denied by Team Spirit. Sotfik single-handedly pulling them through there at the end. And that's an 11th round for Spirit. The economy of Spartak bottomed out once again. They can force buy down to $2,000. They will be getting that loss bonus. But it's not going to leave them with much to work with in this round.
Yeah, it gives them a chance to still keep damage coming, though. Because you have to remember, only one person survived in that last round for the CT side. So if they can even drop 2, 3 players, that's enough for them going in. And as long as they keep doing that, when or if they finally win a round, that'll be the reset and that'll be the game. So although it seems to be getting closer and closer, they're still leaving themselves in a good position to finish this one off whenever they can just pick up a round. Problem is, on any other map, that's a very easy ploy. Singular round. On nuke, not so much. Sheer aggression doesn't pay off. Dima, Coldy. Actually, just Dima and Davkost, in fact, combining. We face crack, the last one left. They do at least take down one. If he can get a second kill, at least still have that reset potential. Spartak going to be calling a pause just before they go into the buy round. That's the preference I like to see anyway. Davkost now spotting out that final player. The bomb is down. They know exactly where he is. It's going to make things very, very difficult pushing in. Davkost not wanting to lose this AWP, of course. The cavalry is slowly arriving and he'll be surrounded. The CZ is there to finish him off. 14 to 12. Spirit, only 2 rounds behind now.
I mean, let's not forget, this was 12-3 in Spartak's favor when we came into the second half. Since then, Spirit have found themselves at 9 rounds, and only 2 have gone the way of Spartak. Currently, Spirit are on 4 rounds consecutively. By going to be coming in from Spartak, they did need to take this pause as well, just to try and figure out what is going wrong. We saw that when they found the opening frag and they were able to deal with the threat that it was Davkost, they actually were able to win the round out relatively easily. But I mean, since then, I mean, it's been a couple of individual feats of heroism as well from players on Team Spirit that have kept them in this. We've seen Sopvik do that 2v1 clutch just moments ago is a good example of that. So it's not to say that the rounds haven't been close. It's just Team Spirit have been fantastic at closing them out. So the buy going to be coming on in. Little has the AWP, but he doesn't have armor to play around with. They have got all the utility they could possibly need. Coldy and Davkost outside early on. This time a bit more heavy outside presence coming in from Spartak. Plenty of utility throwing down range. It looks like only Kabakin going outside. The rest of the team making their way on in. Potentially looking to try and fake this one.
Jerry trying to find the entries, but it's Coldy to take down 2 of his teammates. He will get one back, and Kabakin's there to double down, and somehow this round has just turned on its head. Jerry again on the site with help from his teammates and Sopvik. Well, this time it's not low HP players, it's not 2 players, it's 3. He's in this clutch once again.
This time, though, he doesn't manage to make anything happen. Spartak, as a result, will be arriving at match point 15 to 12. The economy of Team Spirit does allow them to facilitate a buy-up into this one, but they don't have a kit. They've got utility. Coldy's going to be relegated down to a UMP. They have to try and win this round to stay in this and play for the overtime. The only bit of solace they can take is that if they win this, the economy of Spartak is going to be fairly low and won't sustain a buy into the next round. So they will at least then hopefully better pull it back to a 14-12 scoreline. But it's all dependent, 14-15 scoreline. It's all dependent on winning this very round out now. And already FaceCrack's been allowed to cross all the way towards Secret. Davkost trying to rotate on round to deal with this threat, but FaceCrack isn't going to peek into him. In the meantime, aggression out towards Rap. They go charging on in. Demon's able to fade away. Sopvik coming on round from hell to try and mop these guys up. Will be forced back. Trying to hold his ground. Kabakin going to be there to deal with him. They do get control of ramp, and now it's pushing towards B. Only Coley and Dima here.
Dima playing a little bit lower down. He has been spotted as well by Pro Play. Sort of become a little bit static though, and this could be hugely problematic as it gives so much time over to the CT side to just look to pick them apart. Coldy just waiting. Molotov I think is going to miss as well. That's not going to help them out any further in clearing out these remaining players. Still got Sopvik over in the back lines, but all of these players are just looking to push back in. They've been looking for Coldy for ages, and finally Little will be able to take him down. But there's still going to be Davkost on this cross. Team Just rotating around, picking new angles every single time, making things so difficult for these remaining players, and it's going to have to be Robley trying to plant in the open. Has to risk it. It doesn't pay off, and now it's all on Little, who's going to be shut down. 15-13. The fight still goes on for Team Spirit. And again, it's a one and done. Not really able to string too many rounds together.
I really hope we don't see a force come in here, because so many times we see teams make weird decisions like that. And no, it looks like they're going to be playing it safe, buying down just a little bit what they can afford to invest. Probably going to have the Deeg Little with armor pistol up behind him. But for the most part, it's just these Glocks. A 14th round lying in wait here for Spirit. There should be no way for Spartak to pick this one up. It should just be a wasted round. So in the next is really where we reach the summit of this match. Will it go through to OT in map number 1 in this first best of 3 series for today? Or will we see Spartak win it out?
Davkost already tagged down to just 20 HP. Had to fall back almost all the way into the spawn. Pick, however, there to support. Still waiting. Try and get towards this ramp, but Dima has been a force in this game to be reckoned with. They've got him to get past, and most of the time he's very good at just taking one. Quebec and somehow sneaking around the back lines, but Dima is where? And this just means they're now just going to run into the blender that is Dima's crosshair. He'll take down 3 players. Support from Sotfik to get the other 2. Flawless round going into the final, meaning they'll have all the utility weaponry they desire. And on the other side of things, well, some of the players only able to afford pretty much flat AKs. Not really any utility to play with, a couple with some smokes, no Molotovs to clear out angles. Just going to come down to sheer aim and maybe a strategy or 2.
Yeah, well, this round looks to be like outside aggression going to be the order of the day. I've got 2 players still inside over towards a Propler and Little. Looks like they're going to try and split on through. Davkos flashed on back. Will be forced out of outside. That's going to allow these players to make their way in through Mini. Coldy does find the first, but the trade comes in. Starix, meanwhile, up on the raft is going to be laying down the pain as he gets 2. Propler's there to trade things out. Kabakan going to deal with Davkos, and now we're into a 2-on-2 as the trades go back and forth. Kabakan still outside, spotted jumping down, and Dima will guillotine that player. Now it's all on Propler. 1v2. The bomb down now in the middle of A. Has to watch out because Dima's made his way up in towards heaven. Gonna try pushing around the angle. Doesn't clear it though, and he will go down to Dima. It will be overtime in map number 1, the first map of this first best of 3. Of course, this is the elimination match, so there's a lot resting on it. Winner will be going through. But yeah, I mean, in the OT, Tom, how are you feeling now about this?
I'm gonna stick with Spirit, actually, just because of the fact that a lot of the early rounds that were won by Spartak on their CT side involved Little just going off the chains, and I do think he's cooled off since then. We were saying, I think it was 16 kills in the first, like, what, 7 rounds, I think it was? Maybe even, yeah, I think it was 7 rounds, and he's definitely cooled off since then. I don't think there's any doubt. So going back, even going back onto that CT side, I just don't think that, well, just percentage-wise, the likelihood is he can fulfill that same sort of numbers. Now, Jerry has stepped up since, so there is still potential for them. I don't think it's going to be a whitewash, but I just think Team Spirit coming back from what was, what, a 12-3 scoreline, doing the exact same back, starting on the CT side, I think momentum has to be with them now.
Anyways, this first round gets underway. Davkos going to be kicking us off. Drops out Little very early on. Spartak going to be losing a man who had been key to them picking up these initial rounds. Somewhat going quiet, or quieter, in the last stages of this game. He's already gone though in this round. No impact from him. No trade in sight either. Is now outside, looking to be entirely off limits. They don't really want to try and peek out into this. Jerry is going to make his way out there, but his face cracked. To swiftly one-tap away Davkos out of the equation. The trade does come in better late than never. Now they try dedicating Sulfic in towards CT spawn and watch outside, but he finds himself pinned now. We'll be in need of a teammate to try and come around and help out, but no one going to arrive in time. Starix trying to rotate round, as was Dima, but Face Crack does pick him up.
Holdy now looking like the next point of contention. Get back and just moments away from poking out his feet. Starix will be able to peek out, get himself another one, and I think Coldy will be able to hear all the footsteps being made by Spartak. Almost back-to-back just through the wall. Jerry has been entry fragger for the team, but he's picked up the AWP, which is an interesting decision, and peeks in, misses the shot. No opening this time. Now it's down to Gabakin and Pro Play.
Yeah, Starix finds one out of problem. Now it's all on Gabakin. 1v3 does... Oh, never mind. He's going to go down because Coldy is actually insane. Where was that shot even from?
He was sat inside main, I think.
Oh, there we go. The pause cooled on in.
Duh. I think duh is so much cooler a word than yes. It may just be the accent as well. Like, when you hear someone say duh. I just feel like I'm a gangster at that point. Maybe that's just me. Either way. Pause in overtime. Have we seen any pauses in overtime so far?
I don't really think we've seen many overtimes, apart from on day one where we saw that double OT.
We're only on day 2. So.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, pause in overtime. Interesting. I like it. Gonna be coming in from Spartak. Now, they actually went for that early door peek again that worked. One of the rounds they managed to get over on the T side was Little destroying the door and picking Davkos. This time he was aware of it. And again, that pretty much changes the round. The second that pick goes the way of the CT side, they just bolster down. Did end up trading back quite effectively, but Coldy able to do the damage. They go for that boost once again over towards the ramp area, but it's a quick push in. They split through the site. Coldy isolated Starix as well. And Davkost is soon to follow, leaving the remaining 2 players potentially to run for the hills. Now, they do have the money to buy back up anyway, but not really sure what can be achieved in this sort of situation. Something will have to go absolutely nuts, and Little instead, through the wall, will even up the scoreline once again.
Yeah, I mean, this is fantastic here for Spartak, because if you go ahead and lose those 2 in a row, your economy can quickly start to diminish. That won't be the case for them. They go ahead and take one straight back. Whatever team wins 2 rounds here tends to have a huge advantage heading into that third one. Heading into the second half, sorry, of OT. And well, already towards outside. It is going to be Kapak and Face Crack charging on in. Looking to try and split in towards the A-bomb site once again. Go for a very, very quick play, but this time Coldy and Starix going to be shutting it down as between them they get 4 frags. It's all on Little, who falls as well. Coldy with 3. Falling silent a little bit there in the early stages of this game. Awakening in overtime, and that's what they needed. The triple kill from him to cement team spirit there with 2 rounds in overtime. Only 1 for Spartak. It's 1st to 19.
Normal times, anything to go by, however. You'd say that the 3 rounds in a row for Team Spartak, I think that's possible. I'm still just wondering whether Little will still be as effective as he was. That's the main worry. Although it has to be said, the T side from Team Spirit looked very, very flat. Davkos had little to no impact. Didn't go for the AWP at all. Wonder if he will go for it here. He has the money. There's no doubt about that. Of course, he's going to be the last one to buy. Leave us in suspense. And no, he's not. So they're going to stick with the flat rifles. Dima, I'm intrigued by the fact that he hasn't bought down 2 nades. And Coldy hasn't bought 1. I always find that weird. Like, surely there's some way you could find to utilize a Molotov.
Yeah, no, it's never like they seem to be saving for anything in particular. It's just saving a little bit extra. For what?
$400 in OT.
Yeah, no, I know, exactly. It's very weird. But anyway, each to their own, trying to make their presence known out towards A. They go in for the Ventide, but Face Crack gonna go ahead and deny them. Picks that first up on a Coldy. One man does make it down, though. You have to worry about him being in the back line. That is going to be Sotfik, slipped on by Davkos, trying to make his presence towards outside, just sneaking on up. But there is still Jerry holding the angle. This push in through vents going to get completely denied early on. Only 58 seconds left now. Time is going to be starting to work against them very soon, and they've got a player lost all the way down towards B, and at this point now looking a little bit stuck as to where they go from here.
Sotfik trying to be sneaky, but look like it's worked. Looking for the kill in from behind, and it just falls flat on its face. Davkos sneaking around as well, but Jerry is already out there. Easy kill for him. Freebie, in fact. Now the remaining 2 T players just running in, just trying to find something. They've got so little time. Little is there to counter. Only Dima left alive. Will actually manage to get a second, making things at least a little bit more interesting, but there should be players ready and waiting to try and deny him the plant. We'll even have a couple of smokes to pick up and throw, but he's only got seconds to play with. Just going to have to jump down and attempt to get this plant in the last second or two. It's not going to happen. Face Crack catches him on the edge of the smoke. The scoreline is equalized.
Yeah, and this is where I think Team Spirit not going for the AWP on their T side does make a bit of sense. They know they're not as strong on it, and they know that their mobility does benefit them. This time they're buying it up in this round, so just I was about to say how it might save them a little bit. If they lose this now, buying into the next round isn't going to be too fantastic. Now, Dima, luckily enough, does have a little bit of extra cash. They can just go straight out towards A, and Little tries. Right, Davkos tries to drop a little bit. It's going to be the other way around, as it will now be a 4-on-4. Dima is able to trade things out, but will be tagged low in the process. Jerry outside claims one, but then there's Coldy to pounce in from behind. The rotate's coming on through out towards this A site. Face Crack will go down. Little chumming in one. The trade's going back and forth, but ultimately it all falls onto Proplet. 1v2. Trying to clutch this out. Makes his way up towards Heaven. Already out into the site. It's going to be spied out. How does he see them? The head's just shaking around there, and Starx will be there to finish him off. Team Spirit go ahead and pick themselves up around in the second half. That's going to be 18-17 now. Spartak have to pick this one up to take us through the double overtime. Well, Team Spirit, they've just got to win one more if they want to win this first map.
I feel like a lot of this game, at least in the latter stages, have just turned into an all-out brawl. Aim battles galore, strategy's gone out the window, smokes thrown onto the sites, and then it's just whoever can be a little bit more sneaky. Round though, outside is the challenge. Or back onto both players, Little and Davkos. Little this time holding outside, and Davkos attempting to do the same. Now going to be setting up some nades to try and take control of this very position. Will leave Little blind, at least for now. He's got to try and guess where these players are currently going to go. Nade, not really going to achieve anything. Does a small amount of damage, but spots them as they cross. Won't be able to catch anybody. Davkos as well, looking for this pick. Jerry outside has been an absolute menace, but he'll go down in a quick trade. Bring things back into a 4v4.
Yeah, Little's already rotated all the way down in towards B. At this point, looks like Spirit want to try and make something happen out towards A, especially if that bomb loops back round. They're going to look to try and go in for the split. Davkos is going to be over towards Hut. The push comes on in. 4 players pouring into the site, and Spartak get caught completely off guard. Davkos in the entries with the AWP gets one. Bomb going to go down. Little and Propler so far away for the rotates to come on in. Propler can make his way up through vents quickly, but it's Little who is going to take his time. Up in Heaven now. He has to try and keep an eye on Propler as he emerges from the vents. Picks the first up with the Davkos. Demon now takes the peak. Starix chiming in with the other, and that's going to be Spirit to win out this first map. 19-17. Just managing there to win that one out in OT. They win their map pick, albeit by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, very, very close, and it took a long, long comeback. Definitely still needs some work over on their T side, but at least they've managed to convert that first map. I have to give props over to Spartak as well, but they just weren't able to do too much on that T side. That was where the problems clearly lay for them, and even when they managed to get a couple in a row, it just seemed like it would fall apart seconds later. Either way, it is a best of 3. It is our elimination match, and we'll be back after the break.